What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got a lot going on here. I meant to cover this here in our last video. We'll cover it here in this video. So let's jump right in. Thanks for liking and sharing these videos. Here we go. Also, in this video, I will have a trivia question for you. If you can guess the answer to it, you could win money directly from me. So make sure to watch this video all the way through, and I'll have a trivia question for you. Okay, Senate sends $858 billion defense bill to Biden's desk. Yeah, so this is how much they spend every single year on the defense of our country. In fact, it actually goes up every single year. So we will start to actually see, before you know it, we will be spending $1 trillion a year on the defense of our country, whether we're at peace, wartime, or anything like that. In fact, if we actually have a active war situation at some point, it would actually probably be a lot more. The Senate yesterday passed the annual defense authorization bill, sending the $858 billion measure to President Biden's desk for signature just before the year-end deadline. The measure, formerly known as the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, passed with an overwhelming bipartisan majority, 83-11. It provides $45 billion more for defense than called for in Biden's budget. So they actually gave $45 billion more for the defense than Biden actually called for, including allocating $817 billion for the Department of Defense and $30 billion for the Department of Energy. Thursday's vote caps weeks of wrangling over floor timing and controversial policy changes, such as language demanded by conservative Republicans to end the military's COVID vaccine mandate, which has been in place since since August 2021. It marks the 61st year in a row that Congress has passed the defense bill on time, a notable achievement given basically Congress, right? They said it's the most significant vote of the year. And I've said it before, I'm not the only one. The world is a more dangerous place than I have ever seen it before in my lifetime. Especially with, Putin's nuclear threats going on here on a weekly basis. Hopefully none of them come true, but, this is a pretty perilous time. The Biden administration earlier this week criticized the vaccine mandate repeal as a mistake, but the president is still expected to sign it when it reaches his desk. Senators approved the legislation after voting down an amendment sponsored by Senator Joe Manchin to enact his permitting reform for energy projects in oil and gas, and another one sponsored by Ted Cruz and Ron Johnson to require the military to rehire and provide back pay to service members forced out of work because of vaccine non-compliance. Both amendments needed 60 votes to pass. Senator Joe Manchin not very happy as the Senate rejects his energy permitting reform bill, which would basically have eased restrictions on the oil, gas, and even solar and wind industries, as it failed. It failed, and the vote did not exactly fall along party lines. Some Republicans voted for it, several of them, but several Democrats didn't vote for it as well, as it had a lot of just really political controversy over it. As you can see here, a lot of Democrats voted against it, including Senator Bernie Sanders, saying that it would be bad for the environment to push things through faster than they should. The vote came out 47-47, but it would have needed 60 votes to pass. The House of Representatives approves a referendum to decolonize Puerto Rico. This was passed in the House. Yeah, the House passed a bill Thursday that would allow Puerto Rico to hold the first ever binding referendum on whether to become a state or gain some sort of independence in a last ditch effort that stands a little chance of passing in the Senate, but it is possible. The bill passed 233 to 191 with some Republican support. Would offer voters in the U.S. territory three options. They could become a state, independent, or independent with free association. Democratic representative from Arizona said, quote, "It is crucial to me that any proposal in Congress to decolonize Puerto Rico be informed and led by Puerto Ricans themselves." The proposal would commit Congress to accept Puerto Rico into the United States as the 51st state if voters on the island approve it. Voters also could choose outright independence or independence with free association, whose terms would be defined, allowing negotiations over foreign affairs, U.S. citizenship, and use of the U.S. dollar. Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, but what do you think? Could Puerto Rico become a U.S. state? Do you think this could happen? Do you think they would vote to become a U.S. state? Do you think they would vote to become independent and free and just be on their own? What do you think? Are you watching this? Are you from Puerto Rico right now? Let me know your thoughts in the comments either way. And we will see. It would have to pass the Senate as well. We would need 60 votes from there to allow them to become a U.S. state or free. There, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see here. I'll keep you up to date. Lawmakers propose raising teachers' minimum salaries to $60,000 to stem max exodus. And we are pretty much seeing this around the countries here, or around the country here. I actually have a friend here who was a teacher, basically just stopped teaching because the pay was just too low. And you think teachers have to go to college, and I probably, it depends, probably get a master's, and think about how expensive that is nowadays. Then don't forget that the student loan forgiveness of $10,000 for most people, $20,000 for people with Pell Grants, that's only certain people, has been blocked by Republicans. And a lot of that would go to teachers, working class people, teachers and nurses and things like that, that would have gave them a little bit of reprieve. Remember that, a lot of people that go to college are getting like $100,000 in college debt. And then if you have to go to get a master's and stuff, you're probably for sure in that range. The Republicans are blocking that right now. It's going to go to the Supreme Court and be decided here in 2023. But a lot of teachers are just like, yeah, it's just not enough money. It's just not enough money. And you remember the average salary range nowadays is in the $50,000 range. And most teachers actually make below that. And yet they're required to go to college and get all these degrees and rack up all this student loan debt. And yet they're paid well below the average wages. And a lot of times they want them to get masters and stuff like that. And a lot of people just saying it's not worth it. It's not worth it to go and rack up all the student loan debt and make less than the average wage. I mean, let me know your thoughts are on this. And a lot of people think the teachers should be paid more, but guess what? It has to be paid from somewhere, and it goes to the national debt. Remember that the federal government runs a national deficit every year, and yeah, you guys can let me know your thoughts here on this. So this is something that they're proposing in Congress, is a bill to make all teachers across the country $60,000 a year salary minimum. Minimum. Yeah, it's just it's a worthy cause for sure, and but it's just like getting Republicans and Democrats to agree. Well, we will see, but it's just like, if not, will there be enough teachers? Yeah, Representative Frederica Wilson this week introduced legislation to raise the national minimum salary for public school teachers to $60,000, a proposal that career educators hope the next Congress will take up in the new year. Quote, I think that the pandemic itself gave us a great snapshot view of how important teachers are. This is a period in our history that we should realize the value of our children having access to good teachers and a good education. And I agree. There's several sponsors in the House already. The American Teachers Act would incentivize states to raise their minimum teacher salaries to $60,000 for public K through 12 schools through a grant program at the Department of Education. The legislation would also mandate yearly increases congruent to inflation to support states' ongoing efforts to ensure competitive wages. If the bill becomes law, states would need to opt in to the federally funded short term grants in order to raise teachers' salary minimums. The exact details on the appropriations for the grants haven't yet been drafted. Kind of speaking of that, student loan borrowers in North Carolina to receive $4 million from fraudulent lenders. We're seeing more and more kind of things like this happen. Speaking to the media this week, North Carolina Attorney General Josh Stein confirmed that over 3,500 North Carolina student borrowers will finally receive payouts stemming from a 2019 lawsuit against the Consumer Advocacy Center doing business as the Premier Student Loan Center, and that the Consumer Finance Bureau will announce it will be distributing over $95 million in compensation to 87,000 American borrowers harmed by the Premier's violation of the Consumer Financial Protection Act of 2010 and telemarketing sales rule. Of the 87,000 consumers harmed by the Premier, 3,649 borrowers in North Carolina will receive payouts. Payments will be sent immediately, and borrowers eligible for readiness won't have to do anything to receive it. I'm pleased that more than 3,500 North Carolinians who were harmed by student loan company will receive some financial relief. People who take out student loans are working to achieve their educational and career goals. I'll do everything in my power to go after companies that take advantage of students' dreams and harm their educational and financial futures. Yeah, so this is one of the struggles here right now is, people like teachers and even nurses, that's just the pay, not enough in a lot of cases. And we're seeing this short staffing for teachers and nurses and even like EMTs. They just don't pay enough, and they can't keep staff enough there. And in a lot of cases, they want all these qualifications from them and stuff, and then they go to pay them, and it's just like, well, this is just not enough. And then when they do get people to go work there, um, the people a lot of times end up leaving the job because they could find pay elsewhere for hire. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. Okay, guys. Also, I have a trivia question for you guys. If you can guess the answer to this, you could win money directly from me. We're trying to do these every single day up until Christmas, and we'll be doing these probably after Christmas too here as well. So I'm going to give you guys a trivia question right now. If you can guess the answer to this, just comment down below, and you could win money directly from me. If you guess correctly, you'll be entered into the pool of people who have guessed correctly. And from there, we have a few people, every video picked at random to win some money. We're doing $50 per winner for a few people every video. And all you need to do to guess is just comment down below. It's completely free to guess. And yeah, I think that covers everything. Okay, so today's trivia question is, how did candy canes get their shape? How did candy canes get their shape? Or how or why did candy canes get their shape? So if you want to take a guess at that or uh, take a stab at that, give a comment down below. How did candy canes get their shape? Yeah, so this will probably be an interesting one. This will be an interesting one. So yeah. So thanks so much for liking and sharing these videos. I'll keep you up to date here. Remember, new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single day. Tune in at those times every day. And I have a video every day at those times. So you can just literally, like clockwork, show up at those times, and I'll keep you up to date here. So thanks so much. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And you can click here to see my new video about checks that are going out to millions of Americans in December. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.